Aloha, Sustainable Farmer Drew here. So today I'm going to show you this plant, or plants rather. We'll get right into it. This is Mimosa pudica, or sensitive plant. In Hawaii we call it 𝐒𝐿𝐿. It's in the Fabaceae family, and in Greek it stems from the Greek word mimos, meaning to mimic, or mimicry, where you see it's mimicking wilted leaves. And pudica means bashful or shy, and I'll show you that in just a second. It originally was from South America, but it's now a pan-tropical plant and found in the Pacific, India, and South Pacific areas. And there are several species native to the U.S. states bordering the Gulf of Mexico. Particularly one I'm familiar with is strigilosa, Mimosa strigilosa, which also means sunshine mimosa. Now you'll find it in dry conditions, wet conditions, full sun to light shade. It's intolerant of heavy shade though and frost. You'll find it in waste grounds, plantations, pastures, croplands, lawns, roadsides, and disturbed areas. It was first collected here on Oahu around the year of 1864 and 1865. There's a giveaway which distinguishes the features between the two mimosa species that I just mentioned, Mimosa pudica and Mimosa strigilosa. The Mimosa pudica, which is this one, has globose cylindric inflorescence, which are the flowers, the way the flowers are coming up. And the strigilosa are just globose. So this one has globose cylindric inflorescence. That is how you distinguish the two, based on those features. This plant has been studied for over 100 years. In fact, Darwin in 1881 said it is impossible not to be struck with the resemblance between the foregoing movements of plants and many of the actions performed unconsciously by the lower animals. Now, the reason why they think it does this, the way, which I'll show you, and it's nighttime, so it's going to start closing. Let's get it good. As you can see, it's starting to close. So when you touch it, it actually closes up. So the reason why they think it does this is a defense from herbivores, and animals are afraid of fast-moving plants, so they would rather eat a less active one. And one of the other reasons why it may do this, where's my hand, is to dislodge harmful insects. Now they also say, so now you can see, we're going to get into why it does this. It's going to start closing now because it's nighttime. And here are the flowers. Quite interesting. Almost like a powder puff or something. So let's put this back nice and slowly. So I'll kind of stay out of the picture and zoom in for you. So the reason why that happens is a process called thigomorphogenesis, which is a nastic movement which reacts to environmental stimuli. And another reason why it does it is seismonastic movements, which is when the cells lose Tugger pressure, which is a force that's applied to the cell wall by water within the cell vacuoles and other cell contents. And now what's going to happen as the sun sets is going to go into a nastic, nicantastic episode, I guess you can call it, where it's common in the Fabaceae family where the plants go to sleep. It resembles as if they're sleeping. These leaves will completely close and then in the morning open again. There's a lot of speculation as to why they do that. They're still studying this plant, believe it or not, trying to figure out exactly all the things it does. So the way it reproduces is by flowers, and we'll talk about the reproduction. It flowers all year, and it produces approximately 675 seeds a year, and is pollinated by bees or wind. And the pods are flat and about 2 centimeters long, and the seeds are brown and round with a diameter of about 2 to 3 centimeters. The pods are also hairy, and the plant itself is semi-prostrate, and it's a prickly herb to a shrub, and it can grow up to 0.5 meters or 20 inches tall. And the leaves are alternate and bipinnately compound, which is also common in the Fabaceae family. So it has a non-protein amino acid called mimosine, which very toxic, and norepinephrine, and gantrinsic acid, jasmonic acid. What else is in it? And D-pantol. Mimosine, though, has anti-proliferation and apoptotic effects, and is being highly studied, even though it is toxic. The biological activity found in this plant is that it's a diuretic, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, antispasmodic, anti-hyperglycemic, depilatory, anti-asthmatic, neotropic, a sedative, an antidepressant, an analgesic, an expectorant, and anti-tumor. There's other properties as well, but I'm not going to go into all of them. That's enough right there. Now, how this is used. In Hawaii, we use the flowers as anxiety and insomnia. In Fiji, the leaves are used together with other plants for hemorrhoids and urinary infections. The roots are also used for urinary problems throughout the world. Indo-Fijians, they use it for dysentery, fever, syphilis, leprosy, stomach worms, venereal disease, insect bites, insomnia, nervousness, and piles. The powdered seeds you can use for wounds and sores. You can make a poultice of the leaves for glandular swelling, and a 1-to-1 ethanol water extract you can use as a pain reliever. It's useful for diarrhea, irritability, PMS, whooping cough and fevers in children, and leprosy, as well as vaginal and uterine complications and burning sensations, in addition to fatigue. So it has a plethora of uses. There's more than what I'm saying. They have in different traditional practices, they're used differently. For example, in Ayurvedic medicine, the root is considered a bitter and has a cooling effect as well as a vulnerary effect. All parts are used in traditional healthcare systems, and as I said, this plant is reportedly toxic when used directly. However, I've used it directly. And traditional healthcare systems use it directly around the world. Let me zoom in one more time. Oh yeah. I hope you were able to hear all that, but time will tell. So as you can see, I'm going to try to be very still. They're starting to close as the night is approaching. They're slowly closing. Now in the daytime they'll be fully open. Now if I touch them, they're probably gonna stay closed because it's nighttime. So you see how they close. And this has been one of the most fascinating plants, I think, throughout human history. But that's stigmomorphogenesis for you. The flowers. If you're gonna do anything and you come across it, definitely insomnia and anxiety. All you need is one flower. Don't do more than that. Start with one flower. If you still happen to be an insomniac after that, then you can increase it to 2. But I would only take no more than 2. But please only start with 1. Now, I know mimosine is controversial for some people, just as other chemical constituents are for, you know, different plants. However, we have to look at plants in a different perspective and see their medicinal uses, how they're used, and use them properly. And that comes with respect, and that comes with the flow, and knowing your region, and knowing the plants, and knowing their environment, and knowing their conditions, and learning about how they're used. Hopefully this video has been an assistance in learning about it and how it's used. And for now, we'll say good night as Mimosa pudica is going to sleep. I'm gonna stay awake for a little while, but until the next one, please leave your comments. Oh, that was fast. I want to actually show you that. This, before I say goodbye, right here. Let me get it. Let me touch it. Okay, so this leaf, this petole on that branch bent. It bent all the way down, which was pretty. I never seen that happen. It actually moved the whole stem, the petole where the leaves are on. So I've never watched that actually, the process of that. I don't know if the whole plant is gonna do that. I'm watching it happen. That's amazing. So we do amazing things on Sustainable Farmer Drew's videos. Anyway, please leave your comments, what you like, what you didn't like, what you want to see, what you don't want to see, improvements, anything I can do, any information you want to know about this particular plant or other plants. I'd appreciate it very much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Aloha, mahalo, happy gardening, sustainable gardening, and foraging too.